Okay, so now we have this image. Is my voice clear now, everyone? Can you hear my voice? Okay, now here, this image that we will use is basically it's generated from the artificial intelligence website, which I showed you before. This image is more like a natural image, okay, high resolution image. You can see that if I go to the actual 100%, so it's quite natural. Now, previous technique that we used is better for natural images. Now, this is a new technique we will use based on gradient map. This is known as 3D luminosity. In this technique, it's always better to work on those images that you want to beautify more or enhance more for purposes like for fashion purposes or for magazine purposes. Okay, and previous one is to enhance more features of anyone that you have. Okay, to make it more popped out for artistic reasons. So both has its own use. Okay, but uh, the main use over here is to beautify more whatever image you have. So better to direct apply any effect on your image, always make a copy of it. So I will make a duplicate copy of this one, and I will just rename it to model or anything that you want. Now once I have this, I want to create a gradient map over here. Now these are some uh, maps here. So if I will click over here, you will have a gradient mask or gradient map, you can say that. And when you will create this, it will give you something like this on your screen. Okay, now this is not what we are looking for. So if I will click over here, I have here basics. In the basics, I have this. I will choose this one, and I don't want this to be something like as this. So what I will do here is that I will simply change this to like linear, as you can say something like this. Okay, you can also click on reset alignment, so it will make it as this one here. So once you are done, you can press OK, and you will have a gradient mask over here. Now here in the blending mode, I will choose a mode called luminosity. So when you will go to the luminosity, you will see things are bit image looks like this. Okay, somehow it will look like this. The reason is that if I will double click here and click on my image, you can see that there are not as many like you can say colors over here. So we have white and we have black, and we don't have anything in between. So if I will add something in between, I can click here, and to make sure it is in between, you can change its position from 53 to 50. Color, I want it to be 50% as well. So if I will click on the color, I can go to the brightness, choose 50 here. Okay, and let's choose a like a white color or black color over here, like a grayish color. Okay, let me change this color to something like grayish. Okay, now I'm back here. Now if I will choose 50, it will move back to here. Okay, so I have something like this on my screen. So you can see that this is how I'm kind of getting over here like an effect. What if I will just create a new layer style here? Just hide this one. And if I will go here and the layer style, so I have here more of these options here. Okay, and there is one option called gradient overlay. If I will choose gradient overlay, so it will give me some sort of this kind of result. Same thing, but like a little different. So I will just go here. Okay, basics, change it to something as this. Okay, and then same technique I will use here. 0, Okay. Now you will see that there is no effect here. Why? Because like there is no layer, because it is directly applied here. So this is one like way of doing this, but this is not what we are looking for right now. What we need actual is a layer which is something like this, okay? But we need a gradient map, and we are not getting the gradient map over here. What we are getting is the gradient, whatever, like this is basically layers, okay, like a masks. So we need a map. So to create a map, let's delete this one for a while. And on the top, you will see that we have maps option, or like adjustment option. Oops, here, okay. So here we have gradient map. So if I will click on this gradient map, you will see something like this appearing. Now this is different than what we were doing before. Here what it do is that it takes the bright image or bright parts of your image and dark parts of your image and work with this amount of the color. Now if I will click on here, go back to the basics, choose this basic again, press OK, and you will see that you will have a completely different result over here. It will turn into black and white, the whole thing. For a moment, let's close this one, go back here, change this to luminosity. Now if I will hide this, so you can see that there is a, if I unhide it and just go, let's go closer, you can see there is some brightness here and there's some darkness here. So if I hide this one, you can see image is flat because it's not giving me any sort of luminosity. I took this gradient and I turned this gradient map into luminosity. So that is enhancing my black and white part. Okay. So to better understand, let's go back to normal. Okay. And let's see what we can do with this. So if I will double click this one, click over here, you will get this whole thing. Now whatever is white is the white part and whatever is black is the black part. Now I can control this one. If I will move it here, something like this one, so you can see like the white to the left side, more towards the left side, you will see images becoming little more whitish, brighter. That is because I am increasing the amount of the white over here. If I will do the same thing with the black, you can see it will start becoming darker. Now let's do the same thing. Let me cancel this with the luminosity on and see how it affects the image. Moving white makes your image brighter. Moving black makes your image darker. Now what is this basically? This is the white and the black. You are controlling your brightness and your darkness with the help of the gradient. Now what if I add something here in the middle, just like what we did before? Okay, so luckily I got it on 50 directly, and now I don't want this color. I can go back to white, this color here. Brightness, let's choose 50 here, but it's on blue, so let's go on the gray area. Okay, now I'm on the 50 on the gray area here. Okay, 50 means 50% gray. Now if I will move this here and here, so I'm actually controlling this one. Okay, now how else I can control? If you will use your like your keyboard up and down button, so you can move this with your keyboard as well. Okay, so I'm using my keyboard up and down button, so this is more you can say bit by bit, because sometimes what happens with the mouse, if I'm doing, I cannot go accurately here or there, maybe my hand will shake, but this is a good way to do with the keyboard, up and down. Now if I want more control, I can add here something. Now here luckily I got it again on 25, because between 50 and between 0 there should be 25. So 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. So that's one way. Now if I will go back here, now this time I don't need a 50% brightness, I want 25% brightness. So I can increase this one. Okay, now I can add one more here. Let's see, 75% again. I clicked on the right spot. I don't have to change anything. I will just click here, brightness 75%. Now I have all these things with me, and now I can move these sliders back and forth, okay, to increase or decrease or play with the brightness of an image. So if I will go back, move this here, so you can see that the darker part is increasing. Okay, maybe somewhat here. Now I can do with this one. Okay, so I can move it something here. Okay, now I can add more, or I can move this one, but you have to be careful that you don't have to move it more closer. If you will move it more closer, you can see something like this, like these kind of artifacts will be start creating on your screen, which is not right. So I prefer not to move either this or this and the middle one. Okay, keep on adding and move those, and it have to be in the middle. Okay, like here I have added somewhere, this is 16. Okay, so this is 32. What is the like half of 32 is maybe 16 is the half. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. So now I can go to the bright part here and write 16. Okay, and now I can move this, so you can see that how clearly it is changing things for me, but I cannot go more towards that area. Now let's add one more here. Now this one is 68, this is 100, so between 68 and 100, I think 84 is good. I can go back here, choose 84. So brightening up, I can brighten up more. Okay, so this is how you can change the image brightness on contrast here. Now when I'm done, it's always better not to play with the one that you already have worked on. Like suppose if I will play with this one, so it will not give me a good result here. Okay, so make sure you don't play with that a lot. You can, you know, move around, but not too much. So it will make your image go, not that like it will create you an image, more and more art, like with full of artifacts. So this is not that good way of doing that. Okay, so now when I'm done with this, I can just press OK. Now what I can do here is that I can just go back here, make a group and call this phase 1. Okay, now I can duplicate this one and call this phase 2. Okay, before doing that, what you can do is that phase 1, you can also play with the opacity of it. Now this is after, this is before, so you can see how the image quality has been changed. Okay, so I can go back here, I can reduce this amount a little bit, maybe 50%. I want this effect there. So even if 50% is more better. Now I can go back here in the phase 2, and in the phase 2 I can do some more changes inside. Okay, let's remove this one, group only. I just want to delete the group. Okay, and remove this as well. Okay, so that I can have this only here. Now what I will do here is go back here and I will start moving around these values further to enhance my final output. So even I can add more. So maybe this is 11, so brightness should be 11 as well. And then I can move this. And here I can add one more. This is on 88, so brightness should be 88 as well. And even in these areas you can add more. Like this is 60, so I will add a 60 of value. So not too much, this is fine. Or if you don't want this, you can click, drag it down. When you will drag it down, it will be gone. But it was fine for me, so I will Control Z, I will press on it to bring it back. Now if you can see before phase 1, after, like before phase 2, after phase 2. And this is phase 1, this is phase 2. Now this I can enhance more by adjusting its opacity. Okay, done. Now what I can do here is that I can add a curves, but this curve I think it's always I will add the curve, but I will work on the eyes. Okay, so I can add the curve. Okay, and then I'll move it all the way up here. That's fine because I'm only working on the eyes right now. So I will take a black color, drop the black color inside here. Now I will take my paint, okay, and I will just go to the eyes and paint with this white color on the eyes. Like I will just dabbing, like means I'm just pressing there. And this area, this small area, just like that. Where the light is, so I'm just pressing there. Okay. Now, once I have my required, or let me do one thing, let me take the black color and remove outer part. Only iris I will play with. Okay. So only this part I want to enhance. Now, when I'm satisfied with this, what I can do here is I can reduce opacity a little bit more, flow, or I can reduce a little bit more, and work on the overall eyes over here. Now this, what it will do is that it will overall give me an eye brightness. So if you will see before and after, okay. But if you think it is too much, reduce the opacity of it. So you will see that working with masks is highly recommended because it is all non-destructive. Okay, I can easily change the opacity, I can easily change the mask, I can paint over the black, I can paint over the white to keep everything fine. Okay, now I have this result completed. Let me take the whole thing, put them in a group, before and after. So you can see that before it's completely flat, after you can see it's more enhanced. Okay, now one more thing here I can do is that I can just make a duplicate copy of this one. Okay, and let me hide this one and make this duplicate copy of the background also and put it under this. Oops, under this group. and I will take both of these and press Control E. What does Control E do? Control E merges all the layers that we have. So I will take this merge layers, click on the merge layers, and they will all become one. Okay. Now even if I hide this one or unhide this one, you can see that this is a different layer, this is a different layer. On this layer, I can start another thing. I can duplicate this one. Okay, I will right click here, duplicate it, merged, because whatever I did is now in one layer. And this I did it for the normal mapping, so I can go to the filter, I can go to the 3D and normal map. Okay, now as I said, it's a female picture, so it doesn't have to be too high, the like the blur amount, and like blur amount have to be a little higher, detail have to be a little lower, and I will press OK. Image adjustment, desaturate the whole thing, Control I to you can say invert it, then normal, and I will choose soft select, soft light here. Now before soft light, after soft light, you can see that. Now I can reduce the opacity of this here. Okay, so once you have this, now you can add that lighting effect over here, painting with the light. So I can make a new layer here, give it a black color, multiply, reduce the opacity here. Okay, just like this. Now what I will do here is that I will just make a mask. Okay, and whatever I don't want, I will paint with the black color. Sorry, yeah, black color. So I'll just take my black color, 50% opacity. It's okay, maybe make it 40%, low 25%, and then start painting over the brighter area. So find wherever is your brighter area and can work with that. Okay, the hairs, I think it's better not to touch the hairs because they are very fine. Okay, phase 1, and now what I will do is that I will just reduce the opacity of it and 15, I think, and then other parts I will start painting over. Okay, now what I will do here is that I will a bit increase the opacity to work on the eyes. So I have to remove some black from the eyes here because eyes are very important. It tells a lot of a lot of story you can get is from the eyes only. Okay, so pretty much done. Now what you can do is that switch back to your white color. I will reduce a little bit opacity of it, and now wherever you see shadows, paint over the shadows only, so it will make the shadows darker. Okay, so this is how you will get the like a result of the image over here. Now final touch, give it a curve, work with the curves the way you want. If you want to increase or decrease the curve opacity, you can do that. And one more thing I can do here is that I can just take my white color, paint over this area with a little bit higher opacity. So at least this part I can hide, or this part I can at least make it blacker, more darker. And I will take a little bit, I'll put some black over here to remove that darkness from this area, and then add some. Okay, so this is how you will get the result, something as this. So if I will go here, put it in a group, so you can see before, entirely before, and then entirely after that. Now what else you can do here is that I will go to this group and I can, reduce the opacity of this group so it will start blending with this one. Sometimes we don't need a lot of effect, okay? And then what you can do, make a group like a copy of this one, and you can merge both of them if you want to convert this into one image. Because I don't want, maybe I want to apply some other effect over here, okay? Like suppose if I will go here, apply again a gradient map, okay? Something, it will give it to me something like this, okay? Now I want to apply black here, but I will make this black more bluish. Okay, so what it will do, it will convert all that like shadow into a blue color. Okay, so shadow will become bluish, and all the skin, maybe I want it to be more of the orangish. It will convert that into orangish. Now I'm using luminosity. So what you can do, you can no, I'm not using anything here. But if you will use a luminosity, so it will give you something like this, and you have different kind of results with different kind of blending mode. So choose whatever suits you. Okay. So it's up to you. But usually what you can do is that you don't have to use any one of these blending mode. Just, reduce the opacity of your layer. And then here you go. I think this yellow is too bright, or this orange is too bright. So what I will do here is that let's go to Hue Saturation. Okay. And I can click over here on the top and reduce the opacity of that orange only. That's one more way to do it. And you can have something like this sort of result. Or if you want to enhance it more, so you have more options here. Okay, so let's check one by one all these options basically. Now here we have level or brightness on contrast. So what it do is that it increase the brightness of your image, the bright part, and contrast will enhance the black part of your image. But you have to make sure you don't go beyond, so that otherwise you will have too much white, too much black. Then there is a option here called legacy. What does legacy do? It keeps image little flatter when you are applying this. Okay. Whereas without legacy you will not have any flat result. So that's what it do. Let me hide this. Okay. Now here in the levels, it only works on your darker part if you push the darker part, and your brighter part. So you just have to push, and this is the mid tone. Okay. And you can do color by color. This is the good thing about it. Suppose I want to push more red, I can just go to the red part. Okay, so push a little bit red here. From here I can push it more outwards, mid-tone. It's good for color grading. Now green, if I push green will give me, if I push the green, it will give me more blue color. Now if I go to blue, it will give me more red or green. So this is how you can work on single images. Now this is exposure. You have to be very careful with exposure because it can overexpose your image and you will have these white clippings. Okay, so not too much. Offset, what it do is that it kind of put your increase your exposure, but it just offsets it, like it pushes it to a certain level that you don't get like a complete kind of clipping, but it washes out your image. Okay, so the good thing is that it doesn't clip your image, but the bad thing is that it washes it out. So other thing is that. Okay, then gamma correction is basically based on your darker part of your image, like range of your image. Sometimes images have ranges if you're using a DSLR camera. So with raw images it works very perfect. Okay, now here you have a mask. You can add a mask here, or there is a pre-generated mask. Okay, so you can select any mask from here that you have already created. You can use the color range mask. Okay, so it can generate a mask for you basically. So if I will increase this, you can see that it's generating a mask. Okay, and with the help of this mask you can only get the effect on on these areas. So you can create your own mask, or you can select a mask, and then you can just go here, create a mask or something like that, but I don't want to create a mask here. Okay, you can invert the effect of the exposure as well. Other than that, let me hide this exposure, this one too. Now let's see, this is the basically vibrance. Now what does the vibrance do? It increases the amount of the power of the color. If I go all the way back, so the power of the color will be less, the color will be weaker. More color will be stronger. And apart from that, you have here saturation. Now saturation is what? It's the amount of the color. All the way back, it will make it black and white. All the way up, it will make it more darker. So it's better to work with both at the same time. Increase the vibrance, decrease the saturation. You will get a nice result. Okay. Now here we have hue and saturation. Hue and saturation is what every color of this in this image is like a hue. Hue is what? It's like a color of an image. Now I'm in this moment, which is giving me a natural color which I'm using at this time. So I can, switch over, change the hue just like that. Okay. Now what else you can do is that I can click on here and then go to any part here and change like a selective color, like suppose the skin color. Okay. Or go over here and change the selective color here. Okay. So any color you can pick on your own, and you can work on that color. So that also can be done. So if you don't want to work on the whole thing, you can work on any one of these. Okay. Now hue and saturation gives you pre-made like colors, like options over here. So you can use any one of these and you will get a result out of it. Okay. I will hide this. Now this is the color balance. Color balance, what it do is that every color have RGB if you're working on screen. So you have R, G and B. But if you're working for printing, so you have CMYK. Okay, cyan, magenta and yellow. So this color balance helps you to balance between a printing or a screen. So if you're working on a screen, so what you can do is that you can move towards these sides and try to enhance your color with these. Or if you're working for a printing, same thing, you can do that. Okay, in both ways it will work. Now here we have black and white. What it do is that it just converts your image into black and white. But black and white doesn't mean that it will convert your image directly into black and white. Black and white always have different shades of the color. Like a red is this much, 40% red. If I will change this, so wherever is red, it's becoming more whiter, more blacker. Okay, yellow, more whiter or more blacker. So this is how you can enhance your black and white in your image. So you can see now only this part is affected because there is not cyan on her face. Blue, there is no blue on her face, but there is only blue in the background. So only these two colors are on her face. So if I want something like this kind of a result, like very old style, so I can go with this, or natural, so I will just go just like this. Now what I can do here is that same thing. I can go to any part, take it, enhance it by clicking here. Then there is a tint. Now tint, what it do is that suppose I want a blue tint. So I can just add a blue tint and work with that. And there are some pre-made filters here from which you can use it. Let me delete this. Okay, now let me show you how the deletion of these works, because there is a mask and there is an effect itself. If I will click here and press delete and press yes, you will see the whole thing will delete. But if my mask is selected and if I press delete, so only mask will delete, the effect itself will not delete. So make sure if you're deleting the whole thing, if you want, you can just click on the whole thing and then press delete, the main area. Now here's a photo filter. Photo filter is basically like, you have Instagram filters. It's just like that. You can choose any one of these filters. It will apply on your image. Okay. Like violet, let me increase so you can see the result. So choose any one of these and you can apply, or you can use your own. Okay. So this is how it works. Now here you have channel mixers. Now what is the channel mixer basically? To show you around the channel mixer, if you will go here on the top, you have layers, channels, and path. Every image is made out of RGB, red, green, and blue. So if I go to red, this is the red color, this is the blue color, sorry, green color, this is the blue color. All of them, they are mixed together, so they create a RGB color. So this channel mixer actually balances your RGB. So if I go here, change the, so what it is doing, it is enhancing the RGBs. Okay, so let's see over here. If I will go back to channel, okay, only enhance my red and then come back here. And if I will change, you can see that the red is changing. Okay, so now if I will go back here, channels, and turn on the whole thing, you will notice that only red is changed, not the whole image. So before and after, you can see that nothing much as a change you can see, because it was only affecting the red color. So this is how, if you want to do anything specific related to the color, then you can use this. Now here we have color lookup. Now this is something that students uses a lot, and they like this because it's completely like, when you are on Instagram uploading your pictures and you are changing your pictures like filters, it is giving you different looks. So same thing is that color lookup. So if you click over here, you will see there are 3D LUTs, there are abstract LUTs, and there are device link. Okay, now 3D LUTs, if you will see, there are a lot given over here. Abstract, there are not too many, or you can see that there are none. You have to download from internet. Okay, or you can make your own. Now what is the difference between this? What are these? 3D LUT is basically, what it do is that it takes the depth of your image and it enhances the depth of your image, like the color of the depth of your image. Now any one of you who is using iPhone 7 or higher than that, there is a 3D picture option over there. When you take a picture with the iPhone 7 or the higher version, what it do is that it creates a 3D map to it, and when you upload on Facebook, you can upload a 3D version of your picture. So that's how it works. So if you have a like a raw camera and you take a picture, it looks much more better there. Okay, if I go to strip, will look like this, horror blue, you can see that, and it enhances the background, everything very perfectly here. But this image is not raw, so you will not see the effect that we are looking for more. Okay, so you can choose any one of these effects and check which one is this. It's just like, you are changing like color like effects inside your Instagram. Okay, and suppose if you like something, like I like this one maybe, so what I can do here, I can just go reduce the opacity or increase the opacity based on how much I want this effect to be. Okay, and you can make your mask just like you were doing in the exposure. Okay, you can increase the fuzziness, so on this area it will only affect. So you can have your own mask here. So let me change this. So you can see that if I increase or decrease, how it is affecting. So softer result, you can increase the feather. Feather is like the softness of your mask. So you can see that if I increase or decrease, this is how the mask will look like when I'm increasing or decreasing the this is how you can do. You can also invert your mask. So the result will be something like this. Now this is the invert. It will make it, invert your images. So this is the same thing that we have used before, when I went there, image adjustment, and I use the invert. This is the same thing, but this invert directly applies on your image. It does not make an adjustment layer for it. Now here the posterize. It posterizes your image, which is, I think, I didn't found any use of it yet, but there could be any use. I never try exploring this part. Okay, I don't know for what reason it can be used, for what purpose it can be used. Now here we have like your black and white threshold. It converts your image into one color, either black or white, or you can say two colors, but not like a black and white, but or like a image which only gives you either a black or a white, no shades. Okay, so sometimes this is used for making, like stamps or dies or cuts, or heavily used when you're making a lino cut. If you have worked on lino cuts, so heavily used there. This is selective color. Suppose I only want to work on her lips, so I can change only her lips. Okay, with these. This image is a lot changed, so I don't know, maybe it will not give me that result. And then gradient map, as you know, we have used this one. There are more. Check any one of these. Kind of gives you very interesting results. Sometimes it gives you very interesting results. The key is one side have to be completely dark and other have to be completely bright. But if I switch over, you will see it will give me a negative result. So to have a positive result, this is how it should be. More brighter, I can push this. More darker, I can push this. Or I can add as much as I want. Okay, so these are the adjustment layer used to enhance your images. Okay, these tools already you know. Okay, and by the time we will go to manipulation exercises, you will learn this a lot, all these tools which are on this side. Okay, any question you have regarding this? Anyone? Is everything clear? So you can see that these are some effects I have applied, and if I will turn them on, this is like a final result I can get. Okay, so this is before and this is after. So you can see how you can enhance your image by just using colors and layers, masks, and all those things. Okay. Okay, now one more thing is that let's go back to the Blackboard, and I will explain you about your project, because some of the students were asking me about the final project. So let's talk about the final project on the Blackboard. Okay, so let's move to Blackboard now.